everyone, Kayla here with Can You Sign My Yearbook? Today I have this 1908 yearbook, the June Bug from Leavenworth, Kansas. On TikTok, this is my most viewed yearbook and my most talked about, so it's something I wanted to get done very quickly for you, but I did want to come on here because I hadn't come on camera yet on this channel and kind of just introduce myself. I'm Kayla Freitas. I obviously collect yearbooks and I have quite a lot, and I just wanted to say thank you guys so much. The response has been really insane in a great way, you know, in a most amazing way. I get messages, hundreds of messages a day about these yearbooks, and I just am so honored that you guys, you know, find it something it's interesting and you want to see more. So I'm really pleased about how that's been going. I don't want to spend too much time on camera, but I did just want to say hi and put a face to the name. I know you guys recognize my ring. A lot of people talk about my ring, but this is my face looks like. So but anyways, let's just get right into the yearbook today. Okay, so I think you guys are pretty familiar with this yearbook. If you haven't seen it already, this is the 1908 June Bug. This is from Leavenworth, Kansas. Actually, the front cover is no longer attached. So I'm just gonna place this over here so it doesn't get any more damaged. And a lot of you guys had been wanting to see this because you may have seen my TikTok on it, but it is an integrated school in 1908. And we have Our Lady Florence in here. A lot of people have been really interested in her background and her history. I've had a lot of people reach out with information about her, so I really wanted to get this up for you guys as soon as possible. Again, this is class of 1908 in Leavenworth High School in Kansas. And this is the superintendent. And I really love this beautiful paper they have separating some of the pages. So I'll zoom in on him a little bit. You can have a little bit closer look. Maybe we'll zoom out just a touch. And so 1908, the president at the time was Theodore Roosevelt. And on November 3rd, we would actually elect a new president. Howard Taft would then be elected on November 3rd, but he wouldn't assume presidency for another year, I believe. So that is what the school looked like. I'm not sure if it's still around. I think it is, actually. I think I've heard that the school is still around. A few people have maybe mentioned it. But drop it in the comments below if you know. And it looks like we have someone died. Albert died. He died on the 27th, 1907. They dedicated this to him. He was 17 years old. Horrible. How sad. So this is the Edwardian era. We're gonna see a lot of this Gibson girl hairstyle. This is the board of editors, it looks like, for the yearbook. And I really like how it has the names of these students on the paper before you turn the pages. It does have some rips, so there is some wear and tear to this yearbook. So here we have the gentlemen and ladies, and I love the Gibson girl hairstyle. If you don't know, this is called the Gibson girl. Very typical for this time period. One of my favorite hairstyles, actually. I think it's really beautiful. I wish I could wear it now. Here we are with the faculty. So again, we have all the names. Sybil, I haven't seen that name in a while. Actually, I've looked through old yearbooks, so I've seen that name quite a few times. But yeah, and her hairstyle looks, I don't know what that's called. Does anybody know what that is? That's not a Gibson girl. In this year, 1908, the New York City will have the very first ball drop. So you know how the ball drops in New York City to signify the start of the new year? This is the first year that we ever did that. So that was kind of interesting. Beautiful, wow. So these are the senior officers. And here are the seniors. And it also talks about their different sororities and fraternities they're in. So if you didn't know, and I didn't know, to be honest, for a long time, is that there are actually fraternities and sororities in high school. And I think it was more of a club maybe than an actual fraternity or sorority. I'm not totally sure. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. I was really confused when I first saw that. So here we have Elizabeth, Inez. Just have a look at them. I know I have quite a few genealogists that like to look at these yearbooks and tell me a little bit more about them. Let me go ahead and zoom in so you guys can have a closer look. So also in this year, February 27th of this year, we put the 47th flag on the United States flag to represent Oklahoma. All right, let's see. This is not quite Old English, but it's amazing how language can change in, you know, a little more than 100 years, because sometimes I just don't know what they're saying. Like this gal says, I'm a rosy blonde. Is that good, that bad? I'm not sure. A rude sea grew civil at her song. Okay. All the power is inside you, my dear. So let's have a look at these folks. Elmore was part of the yearbook committee. We showed him earlier. Oh, he looks so young, doesn't he? I love the hairstyles. So we're actually moving out of a more formal style of the Victorian era and moving into more relaxed styles, although to us it's not relaxed now, but to them it was like more, I don't know, everyday looks. The ladies were wearing less corsets. All right, Wilmina, that is a beautiful name. I love that. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull this back and have a look at these folks. And if anybody is a genealogist, I know I have a lot of genealogists that watch my videos, and it's so incredible what you guys find. But please drop all your information down below. People are so curious about, you know, who these people are and what their history is. So if you find anything that's really interesting, please let us know. We're so curious. I know I'm not the only one. All right, moving right along. My heart is as true as steel. Blessed be the man who invented sleep. Okay, Harry, yeah, you know what's up. Blessed be the man who created sleep. And Florence, so Florence is the most famous gal in this book. You guys know Florence here. So let's have a look. Wow, just beautiful, and I love the chokers. I wonder what kind of makeup they were wearing at this time, if any. And there's our girl Florence. I'll zoom in even closer on her. I'll put her right in the center so you guys can have a good look. And I don't know if anybody found out whether or not she has living family. But if we want to hashtag find Florence, maybe we can find her living family and reunite them with this yearbook. That would be pretty cool. All right, so here we're going to the history of the class in 1908. So president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, and just a little bit other things. Their colors are green and white. And now we're moving on to the juniors. So I'm going to turn this so you guys can see. Pull this back. Something so satisfying about pulling this paper back. So let's have a look. Look at all these faces. They all have their own stories, their own history, their own lives that they lived. It's just, you know, we don't know what it is. It's kind of weird, isn't it? Oh, by the way, this year, May 10th was the first year that we ever celebrated Mother's Day. I thought that was interesting. Sophomores. I don't think about these things like the first time we celebrated holidays. I just figured they'd always been there. Okay, let's have a closer look. I wonder what the 10 means. Class of 10. Oh, duh. It made sense after I thought about it for a few seconds. And that's his fraternity. All right, moving on to the freshmen. Here are the names of the freshmen. I'm not sure what name goes to which, and I'm not sure if it's in any kind of order, to be honest with you. So these old yearbooks, a lot of the times, sometimes they didn't even have pictures, and sometimes they didn't even have names of the underclassmen. They're usually just for the seniors. So I hope you guys can see that well. He must have been moving because his picture looks so creepy. They look so young, don't they? Like babies. Okay, and that's the freshmen. And then we're moving on to the fraternities and sororities. So I know a lot of people are going to get excited about this because they were part of the sororities and fraternities. So I want to go through them and show you. So this is Alpha Omega Society. Also, this was the year that the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority was established, and this was a sorority for Black women in college. So that is pretty significant. And that was established January 21st of this year. All right, next looks like a sorority, fraternity. Oh, it looks like maybe they're combined. There's men and women. I don't know if they just didn't separate them or... Wouldn't it be cool to have one of those? Like if someone still had one of those? It would be nice to, it would be really interesting to see if it were still intact. And honestly, it's amazing that this book is intact if you think about it. Phi Kappa P sorority, sorry. All right, we'll zoom in a bit. Beautiful. I love their clothes. Just like, I wonder how long it took them to do their hair, you know? All right, the orchestra, very cool. Very, very cool. So here's the name of the folks in the orchestra. And I'll go ahead and flip this picture up for you and zoom in so you can have a look-see. I love seeing the instruments they used to use, you know? It's not always the same. Like I often see banjos in the older yearbooks. All right. All right, the Senate. We're just gonna kind of peruse along the cadets. So they did have what would essentially be an ROTC, I suppose. So let's have a look. All right, very cool. And wow, the flag looks so different. You can see there's not as many stars. Let me zoom in a little bit more. How interesting. All right, the Cadet Hike. Oh, okay. Let's see what their hike was like. Wow, a wagon. All right, here's camping. Here's a wagon ride. Wow, look at that town. Wow. Wow, looks like a movie set. That's insane. Camping, that looks like not fun camping. Not fun camping, that's for sure. The Cadet Journal and the last will and testament of the student body. Okay, now this next page, I didn't see it before, but I'm not sure whether or not it is some offensive content, so I just want to let you know beforehand, it may or may not be. It's a cartoon, and it looks like it might be a black cartoon, but it looks a little bit different, so it may not be. I'm not totally sure, but I just want to let you guys know, you know, if you want to click off now's the time, that is going to be coming up here, okay? And I'm just going to move right past this if you guys don't mind. The German Club, okay, and now we're moving on to athletics. Basketball. Weird cartoon there. Oh, and this is their season. Basketball league, $5.75. Topeka game, $32, $37. I'm so receipts, expenditures, transport to fort, $2.95. Basketball goods, 75 cents. Cost of Topeka game, $36, 25 cents. Telephoning, $1.10. Deficit end of season, $3.30. Maybe they didn't have a great season. That's so weird. I've never seen that before. All right, so now we're going to move on to the football boys. And if you didn't know, helmets were not invented till around 1920 for football. And when they were wearing helmets for football, they were just made of leather. So really, there was not a whole lot of protection for these boys. You can only imagine what kind of traumatic brain injuries they had. Also, you can see their bolo hats, which were really typical for the time. Could you even imagine playing football without a helmet? Like, just wow. They must have been playing baseball without a helmet too in that case. All right, here's baseball. That's their season. And I'm gonna show you these photos with just remind me so much of like old Babe Ruth photos, you know? So here we go. The one in the middle must be their coach with his bowler hat. Excuse me. I used to think they were called bolo hats, and then I looked it up recently and it was a bowler hat. So I'm trying to, you know, unprogram my brain with improper verbiage. Board of Editors. So here's a little cartoon. And we're getting towards the senior and rhyme. We're getting towards the end of the yearbook now. Questions by freshmen. Does the jolly tar flow from the tree? Does the river lose its head? Can an old hen sing her lay? What is happening? What are these questions? Anybody want to translate? Okay, warning freshies. So this might be a warning to the freshmen. It said, a freshie named Mary one day took her lamb to the meadow to play. Like all of her class, she was such a green lass that the grass she was eaten, they say. What? I honestly have no idea what they're saying. All right. By Willie. That's an interesting one. For Tom sits here and Sue like this. For Tom sits thus and Susan here. I bet they thought this stuff was so hilarious too. And we're sitting over here like, what are they saying? Oh, cool, an old piano. Let's see what you can get for $12.50. We have a few of these $18 blue serge suits for men's, which we will sell for $12.50. Give us a look. How interesting. And the YMCA. Wow, the YMCA was a thing back then. I didn't know how old the YMCA was. Fine candy, ice creams, and ices. What are ices, I wonder? Wow, dapper. Enel clothing. Enel's clothing. Soap company. Almost done with this yearbook. And the very last yearbook. Look at this gal's hair. Love it. She has longer hair than most gals at this time. Oh no, that's not true. This isn't the 20s yet. Okay, and the back cover is also kind of fallen apart. But anyways, that is the last of this book. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Again, thank you so much for your support and everybody who subscribed recently and commented. It really helps my channel to grow tremendously when I have likes, comments, subscriptions, and that will help me to bring you more content more often. And I would like to bring you one a day, if possible, a yearbook. So yes, please be sure to do that. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.